It's Thursday night. You know what that means. It's time for Magic and Martinis. Please welcome your host, Scott Wells.
I could bring myself in as well so you could see me live. There we are right now. Richard Smith, hey, glad that you're here then too from Wisconsin. Probably more humid up there than it is here in Houston. It's been kind of nice here for a while. We've really been enjoying it. So it's been a very nice summer for us so far down here. I want to, first of all, thank you guys very much again for tuning in tonight on this 58th and final episode. So here's cheers to you. That's good. That is so good. And you're seeing I'm placing it over there because if you have seen, been with us for a while, you know, I've had an accident on that before and spilled that into my keyboard. So I'm on my, I don't know, second keyboard at least over here. Anyhow, so this has been fun. I want to also, another Big Apple guy, Robert Wallner is here. Hey there, Robert. Glad that you're here then too. And Northern Minnesota, I've got Harry Etwistle is here. And this is Andrew Sherratt's got Bert Shulman. Glad you guys are here too. I want to remind everybody to be sure and wear your name badges here this evening. And I've just got a few people. By the way, of course, we've shown this in the past, but this may be the last. Will be the last time to remind everybody to show some of the people who have been joining us over the last year, who've been wearing their name badges for the virtual Magic convention that we host here every Thursday night. So I want to thank Dan Sclair and Don Weiberg and Jerry Costello, and of course David Harbour, John Keever, and then there's Robin Byers-Pierce, Ron Sitnick, Mark Rich, Harriet Richardson, and recently Wayne Taylor, Clark Aldridge. Thank you guys very much for wearing your badge. And I want to point out that although this may be the end of the virtual happy hour for Magic and Martinis, we're going to be going to Colon next week. And I was thinking on Thursday night, perhaps we might go to, at 5 o'clock, go to Curly's, and we can have a real happy hour for those of us who happen to be there. I know, Harriet, you're going to be there, and I know Jania Taylor's going to be there, and several other people who are around. George Schindler's going to be there. George had sent me an email. He wanted one of these, so I sent him a badge, and he didn't send me a picture with a selfie, so I didn't have one to show here this evening, but he is going to be coming in, so hopefully we'll have a good time at Curly's then next week then too. I want to also thank, as you see right over here, there it is, Misdirections Magic Shop. This was a t-shirt that Joe Pond had sent me, so let me turn this around so you can kind of see the back of the shirt then too. It's kind of cool. I want to thank Joe very much for being my guest a couple of weeks ago, and he was thankful to be on the show and had sent me this t-shirt. Joey Cranford's got one in the mail from the Chicago Magic Lounge. Hadn't got here in time, otherwise I'd wear that for half the show and this one for the other half, but this is one I'm going to wear for the whole show. Brick and Mortar Magic Shop. There we go. Let's support these guys. I think that we should. While you're on here, I want to remind everybody, please, to share this. If you would, go out, if you would, and just I want you to like this. If you would, please, like and share. Hit that like button, and that way that other people will know what's happening this week as well. This morning, we had the podcast I'd released with James Holmes, who was the guy who invented the one-handed cane to silk and wrote also that book right there on the Candle and Silk book, number 4, published by David Ginn. He was a good friend of Fantasio's, and so that was kind of an interesting thing. And next week, as I said, we're going to be going then to Colon, so we'll be having daily updates from Wednesday through Sunday, because I'm going to include a prelude. I'm going to be playing golf with some of the guys, and so we'll be showing that then too. Let's see. So we had a couple other people who had come in. Let's see. Who had said, yep, I said hello. So yes, 5 o'clock. Yes, that's what we're going to do, Harriet. Maybe just you, me, and George, but we'll see who else is going to be showing up over there. That, darn it, Mark, you're going to be at rehearsal. Well, we'll have to have an extra one then for you. But George, be sure to wear your name badge and be at Curly's at 5 o'clock then for that. And then we can go over and have barbecue or something. I think there's something going on then later. And yeah, and Misdirection is the best. You have one of the shirts too, Alan. That's cool. Tom Dombrowski is there from Chicago. Hey, I'm so glad that you're there. Hope to see you at Colon next week then too. And let's see, what else? Just real quickly, Terry Burwell. Yep, we got Rocco. And let's see. There's just a bunch of, I can't keep up with all of the different things of people who are coming in. Here's one of my favorite magicians of all time. Here's Will Fern. I love that guy. Man, I miss that guy. Looking forward to seeing him the next time then too. Who is that? Oh yeah, Gabe Blackstone's going to be with us then as Joy as well. There for happy hour. She always joins us. Rise, rise, rise. So okay. So I tell you what, enough about me and what's been going on. Then we could, I appreciate you guys coming in and listening and watching this episode. So now it is time for me to start bringing in some of the guests so you can kind of hear their voices as well. And in no particular order, I'm just going to start bringing in some people with their videos that will tell you something about who is coming next.
My name is Eric Decamps, and I'm a magician. So, my name is Eric Decamps, and I'm wishing you all a magical evening. Thank you.
And there he is, the man, the myth, the legend, right there from New York City, Mr. Eric Decamps. Hello, Eric. How are you, my buddy?
Hey, Scott, that's a really lovely video you put together. Thank you.
You're welcome. I know people.
There's a lot of good memories.
Well, you had sent me these photos, and I put the thing together for you, and I kind of with the copyright-free music and everything. I thought that a classical background, because you're a classic guy, and that would be just perfect over there. So,
Classy and old.
Well, aren't we all? Cheers to you, my friend. What do you got there? What are you drinking tonight?
I'm drinking a little Glenmorangie single malt, baby.
Oh, Glenmorangie. I love Glenmorangie. Cheers.
Cheers, my friend.
Yes, as Mark had said, you're going to be one of the many stars at Abbott. You're going to be doing your one-man show as well as a lecture and everything then too. So
yes, I am.
And so, yeah, Decamps, you are starting to look a little like Frank.
I know. Yeah.
That's
Mike was teasing me.
Yes. Hey, just real quick, I forgot there a while ago. I did want to also not only thank all the people who have been coming over the last year, and I want to remind everybody stick around because I did put together this other montage towards the end of the show that shows all 170 people we've had over the last year. But also, we have had just a lot of fun, and it had some expenses, of course, associated with this, but it's not a problem because they've been helped offset by some of the friends of the Magic Word. Those are the ones who are the financial sponsors of the podcast and everything. But I'm going to be in Cola next week, and so there were some things I was going to be bringing. I thought that, like with PBS, whenever that they have things, it's like you will donate and then you'll get something. I mean, you pay more than what the value of the thing is worth. But I just got these cool looking coasters in. I mean, they're hard kind of coasters that are kind of cool. And for a $20 donation, you'll get one of these things. But then I think this is kind of cool. For $50, you get one of these mugs with my mug on it, just kind of like what Jonathan Levitt was saying over there a while ago, that, cool looking mug. So I think he was referring to yours, actually, not mine. But anyhow, so I'm going to have some of those. And as Jerry Costello had said, he wanted to get some of my early photos or promo pictures. So I'm going to have a bunch of these things available for free that I just want to get rid of. I said, should I bring, how many hundreds of these should I bring from over the years, that I've had? So
100,000.
Yeah, I got a bunch, just don't use much as well. Okay, let's move on. Get somebody else on here then too. Let's see what we've got going on that, let's see, first of all, though, that Jerry said, looking forward to seeing you then next week then too.
Oh, Jerry's a good guy. I like Jerry a lot. Good man.
Tom Gagnon loves you as well. There you go.
Hey, it's my man. Can't wait to see him.
Yeah, I
I
like
got a
Tom.
good mystery for him. I have a
Do
good
you?
mystery for him.
Okay, then you two guys are going to have to definitely get together over there. And yep, looks like Glenn is going to look forward to that as well. And let's see.
Glenn's coming to the show Saturday night. That's great.
Yeah. And let's see. What did he say? Brett Showman Falcon? Falcon.
I have no clue.
I don't either. So let's move on. So let's go. Let's bring on somebody else. Here we go. Let's bring on the next guy over here. In this video, we'll show you something about him. Wowzy, wowzy, wowzy. There's the man himself.
Wow.
Hey, Rocco.
Come on, Eric Scott. That made me miss performing.
Doesn't it, though?
Hey,
That was beautiful, Rocco. That was beautiful.
Eric, you're beautiful. I know that if we were to see each other in person right now, you would come up to me and give me a big hug. He always does.
Yeah.
But he can't
That's
now.
true.
Eric's a sweetheart, man.
I give you a virtual.
For keeping this thing going along. You know, there's 200 years worth of magic between us.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe
Wow.
a little bit more.
Eric's
Well-
one of the first magicians I saw when I was 19 years old. I went to the magic shop, Tannins, and they said, there's a place that they do magic at night. I said, I got to go. And I saw Eric, I saw Mayor Yedid, and I fell in love with magic. I'll never forget what he did. He had a purse frame, and he pulled out a screw out of the purse frame like this big and this fat out of an empty purse frame. Do you remember that, Eric?
Oh, very much. Yeah. Yeah,
Well, that
absolutely.
freaked
It was
me
a
out
big
when-
it was a big drill bit I used to produce out of
Yeah.
a purse. Yeah.
I remember
Based
seeing
on
you do
John
that one
Mendoza
time
idea.
myself. Yeah.
And you had a briefcase on stage. Am I correct?
Yeah.
I remember everything you did. This is over 45 years ago.
It's scary.
You left the
Scary.
big
That's-
impression on me. And,
We didn't have to we didn't have to mention the years.
Yeah.
We
Listen,
didn't have to say 45. We could have said 4 months.
we're making
Bring on our
our-
next. Let's get ready to bring on our next guest.
Oh,
What
yes.
are you drinking there? What have you got there, by the way, then, Rocco? What do you got?
What do you mean?
What are you drinking?
What are you drinking?
Oh, I just put some Patron in here. I got
There
me
we
some tequila.
Hey, Bill Malone says hello, Rocco.
Who?
Bill Malone.
Hey,
Is some
Bill Malone. Yeah, we miss him. He's one of the Effectors guys. I look forward to seeing all these Effectors.
Yep.
Yeah, I am, Tom.
Yeah,
Let's
okay.
see him.
Hey.
See what he looks like nowadays.
All righty, let's bring in our next guest over here and get this party finished.
Good morning, everyone. We're at the Melbourne Magic Festival. I'm joined by Tim Ellis, the genius from down under, the most awarded Australian magician in history.
And I've actually picked out a card and signed it. You can see Tim here. He's getting out of this straight jacket.
Wow, I'm amazed. How did he do that? It's fantastic,
cool.
Natalia.
Magic.
Loving the magic this morning.
Oh no.
Has he got my card? Oh, that is amazing. How did you do that? That is my card, Tim.
How does he do it?
Magic. I'm here with our special guest, Mr. Tim Ellis. You guys may remember him. He's an Australian icon. He's been performing magic since the age of 9, travelled internationally, and was most recently listed alongside Orson Welles, David Copperfield, and Houdini as one of the greatest magicians of all time.
Tim Ellis!
Something a little bit unusual to start off the week. We have come to the nerve centre of magic in Australia, Magic Unlimited, where you'll find most of Australia's magicians. It's also the home of one of our greatest magicians, Tim Ellis. And just have a little look around the foyer in here of his home and office. You'll find a bottomless pit to start with. There are headstones for Harry Houdini and other great magicians. And to enter the house, it's right through here.
Through there, and that's where we join Mr. Tim Ellis from Australia.
Thank you. That was a much longer video than I sent you.
It was great.
Well, I cut out about actually 2 minutes of it. Cheersy, what kind of a fruit drink is that?
This is a breakfast martini created by Salvatore Calabresi in 2000.
Well, cheersy. I love you even more. That's great, everybody. Thanks, everybody, for being here, by the way. This is great. As Luke Dancy said, you guys are legends. You know, that is great. I am just a facilitator. So glad to be here with you for all this. Golly, so many people. Yes. Yeah, what a night it's going to be with all of you guys. 3 of his all-time favorites. Didn't include... Okay.
Hello, Sam Angelico.
That's right. Hey, Oscar, so glad that you're here. You're one of the guys also who we'd had in the past. You have to see your name as you're kind of going through the end when we go through all of the 170 people we've had over the last year. Cheers again to all of you guys. Glad you're here. And so right now it's 10 a.m. on Friday in Australia, in Melbourne. Is that correct?
Indeed. Yes, it is tomorrow. It's tomorrow here.
Okay, yeah. So that was one of the reasons I kind of wanted to finish on this note, I guess, with you talking about the future, because you have an idea of how that we're looking, I guess, right now. So as far as we're going to be getting back to normal, or are things going to continue for a little bit longer the way they have, or what is your prognostication there, Mr. Future Man?
I assume you're referring to COVID.
I am.
Yes. And this, I should point out, this is a COVID-safe martini. It's got a swizzle stick as a thermometer. Really nice.
Show that again. Show that again. Let me see that. That looks like an anal probe. Is that?
No,
is
it's not.
It's okay.
That's really.
So we've got
That's a dirty crack, Scott.
A dirty crack. Anthony, he does right there. Here you go.
Yeah,
go ahead. Yes. What's happening?
So with COVID here in Australia, we have had a really different situation because we're an island. So we've gone into lockdown back in March last year, and we had like a really serious lockdown where you couldn't leave the house for any reasons apart from maybe going and buying food or, you know, very specific reasons. So here in my state, Victoria, Melbourne, Victoria, people took it very seriously, and we sort of knocked it down quite well. And we've kept our cases very, very low. our last COVID death in Victoria was October last year. So that's pretty amazing. But we've had a strange situation where here in Victoria, we've had little lockdowns, then back to normal, then little lockdowns again. We actually had our Melbourne Magic Festival right between two lockdowns. We ended the lockdown. A few days later, we ran the Melbourne Magic Festival. A few days later, went back into lockdown again. So it was incredible how that worked out. We've just come out of another lockdown right now, but Sydney, who is sort of governed by a different political party. So it's like we've got Labor and Liberal, and they're governed by the other team. And so they've been looking at our state and saying, we don't want to do lockdowns. We can manage it without lockdowns. And suddenly they've had to go into a massive lockdown because they tried to manage a small outbreak without doing lockdowns, and it just went crazy. So they've got, I think they had 270 cases or something crazy the other day. So it's a bit up and down at the moment. We just get wave after wave, and we're able to open up with no cases, and then a few cases hit and we go back into lockdown.
Wow. Well, now I know also that some of you guys have been doing some virtual things, and other people have been creating things. And I know, like in your case as well, right now, Eric, you are actually going to be working at the Sparta Theater sometime soon. So have you been been working on?
It's actually this Saturday night where we're going to be doing. I'm going to be doing my one-man show, the same show that I'm going to be doing at Cohen at Get Together.
So tell me more about what's happening with Sparta.
Oh, Sparta's a great. It's in a lovely town. It's like a little resort town in New Jersey. And my friends, Joe and Diane Garcetti own it, and it's a 70-seat theater, and it is just. Thanks, John Bundy. And it's a beautiful space. If you get a chance, you should check it out on the webpage to see what it looks like. But unfortunately, the show. Well, fortunately, I shouldn't say unfortunately. I should say fortunately, the show is sold out. So I'm very excited about that.
That's great. Now, how many
my
people?
Friend right over there, it's about 70 people.
Okay.
And my friend Rocco will be there to join me.
Yeah,
visit with my friend.
You know what you remind me of, Eric? I don't know. It's because you're from Dominican Republic, right?
My family's from Dominican Republic, yes.
You speak Spanish?
See.
Yeah.
So you must have understood everything Rene Levant says when he does his magic, because you remind me of him.
That's where I saw him. Yeah,
Right?
actually, that was at the SAM convention when Rene was there, and you were interpreting for him in New Orleans at the SAM convention some years ago. I'll never forget that. That was just so beautiful. And you were saying also, Eric, as I recall, it's hard to translate Spanish because it's such a romantic language, and ours is so garbled compared to theirs.
So in your pattern,
well,
is he an influence
just that
your pattern?
Yeah, he's a huge influence and a good dear friend and a mentor for me. And I just when I saw him I had seen him on videotape many times back in the 80s, but when I met him and saw him on at FISM in 1991 in Lausanne, Switzerland, I just couldn't believe my eyes. It was just an amazing experience to watch him. And when he did the breadcrumbs, which in my show I do a tribute to him with the breadcrumbs.
With the coffee cup. You showed me that.
Yeah.
Amazing, man. With one hand,
Yeah.
Great story. You're best.
Yeah, but it's a true story. It's the whole storyline is about my relationship and meeting with him and being inspired for him, and the week that he stayed at my home back then. And it's just he's in my opinion, he's the greatest close-up magician I've ever seen.
Are you doing this Saturday? The
Yeah.
breadcrumb? I heard what he
Yes,
does in the show. He opens up a bottle of wine, sits there, and he starts drinking wine, and the show's not finished until the wine's finished. Miguel Puga told me that. About Rene Levant.
Oh, I think you're talking about me because I don't know. There's no way I'm going to be doing it sleight of hand. I have to drink a whole bottle of wine.
Starts with a bottle of wine. And by the end of the show, the whole
staggering.
wine's gone. That's right. Miguel Puga from Spain, great magician, told me that. And you remind me.
I know Miguel. Sure, Miguel's a great guy. Good magician.
When I worked with you in China, you did an amazing ring routine, and you said there was this old guy that taught it to you. Who is that guy that inspires you? Remember that story you tell with the rings?
Oh, you're talking about me?
Yeah, the rings you did at Magic Happy Valley. You did amazing rings, and you got this guy you told us about who taught it to you. What's his name? Let's see if they know who he is.
Lindsay Reichel. You won't know him. He was an Australian magician. He wasn't famous, but he taught us a lot of us as juniors, and he taught us at Magic School. I love doing that routine. And I remember that was there was 2013. We did like 28 shows in 7 days at Happy Valley. It was amazing.
And you see how far it was from the front row to where we were standing? It's like a football field to the front row.
I know, and you're doing
yeah, we got through it. But you were great, man. You were absolutely amazing, fun to work with.
It was great. I've got such good memories of you. You are in this like concrete dressing room with the bare concrete floor, and you've got all these tables with like 30 sort of Ritz crackers or 30 sticks of gums, all these things lined up ready to go.
Right. Chaos, man.
The rider is amazing.
Well, it's
Effectors one day. How about that? We all need effectors.
We will.
I'll be there.
I know.
Next year is going to be the 50th. We're finally going to have the 50th after 2 years. Keeps being pushed back. Looking forward to that. Yeah, fingers crossed. That's true. So you were also working in Macau with Franz for like over a year, and Bruce Gold was booking that. Is that right back then?
And Macau, China, right?
What was that like?
Oh, well, that was a casino, and it was 6 to 8 shows a day. That's all I remember was preparing and setting up and setting up and setting up and setting up. That's it. 8 shows a day. By the time you're done, you got 10 minutes to set up. You do another one. You're done with your show. You got 10 minutes to do. You go crazy by the end of the day. But the last time I worked with Franz was in Sanya, China. That was the last show he had. That was January 24th of 2019.
2019.
Right. We started. We just opened the show. Great theater. A whole 2,500 people. The first show had 2,500 people. Then they started talking about coronavirus. Then nobody came. It came down to 13 people a show. They canceled the show, and they told us, Donald Trump's going to shut down the city. He's going to shut down the country. We have to leave. You got 2 days to leave. Leave all your props here. We'll be back in a month. So all my props are still there on stage in my dressing room. And every once in a while, Franz calls me and says, okay, we may be going back in 2 months. We may be going back in 6 months. So all my show is still there. So, and hopefully we'll go back. Who knows what's going to happen? Don't know.
So is it just in storage or in a closet, or you got it in like a locker in the bus station, or what?
We had our own dressing rooms in the theater backstage, and they're all locked up. Apparently the show is still running now, but they have Chinese acts. But my dressing room's still there. And all the stuff's still there. My act, we just packed up. We all got scared. They told us if we don't leave by tomorrow, we're going to be locked in this place in China. So we said, let's go. We'll be back in a month. That was almost 1 year and 9 months ago.
The popsicles are probably melted by now.
I had 100 of them in the freezer, all ready to go. Good thinking, Tim. Exactly. That's the first.
Just leave them. Leave them.
Leave them. Right. So this is your last show. Let's go.
It is. Yep. It's just the issue has been trying to, as we start to get back into the real world. Yeah. Like Paul knows what it's like over there, doing 6 or 8 shows a day.
That's really funny, Paul. Yeah. Look at that. That's great, Paul. That's true. That's true.
Yeah. But there's a quick question, by the way. Tom Dabrowski asked about your show. That's your show's on Thursday.
It's Friday. It's on Friday afternoon at 2:30. Tom, I expect you to be there, and I'll give you the game deck.
Okay.
It's a private joke.
Okay.
Saturday night.
No, No. We're talking about Colin, Rocco. When I go to Abbott's next week.
Listen,
and I'll be doing a show there.
I'm drinking wine now.
Have another drink there, Rocco. That's great. So, as far as what, Tom's in. Okay, he'll be there. There you go. Especially since you promised him something. So I have been doing this again for 58 weeks, and I have been enjoying this. It's been really a labor of love, in which it's been something I have really enjoyed. Getting a chance to talk with friends like you, where I don't get a chance to see people in the real world. Just you're saying, Rocco, where you want to give everyone a hug and a big handshake and just spend some time, just really face to face. And so really miss that. And so the whole idea of this, when I came up with it, like a year ago, June or whatever it was, I just I'm holding my martini so I don't drop it again. That I felt like everyone else is in the same boat I am. We kind of want to get together, and so this is the next best thing to actually get together virtually if we can't be together physically. And of course, there have been virtual conventions, there have been other things that we've been doing, and so this is about as close as I feel that we can do. But the issue is I'm having more difficulty, or I anticipate soon, as conventions are starting to become in person again, it'll be more difficult to try and find people because people are back on cruise ships or they're working, trade show. I got 2 trade shows coming up in October. I mean, there are different things that will be, and I'm going to be going to 5 conventions between now and the end of the year. Plus, I'm going to France. I'm going to go see Boris in November. So anyhow, there are a bunch of things happening. I'm not going to have time. It won't be, and I know other people, it's going to be difficult to try to get guests on the show. So that's why I kind of felt like, this is probably a good time to go out on top with some of the best guys from around the world here with you guys. I mean, we've had just outstanding guests every week, but you just are with us.
So Scott, how's it working with?
Thanks for having us.
How's it working with live conventions over there? Are they asking people to be vaccinated or have tests or just go for it?
They are just request that if you have not been vaccinated, wear a mask. If you have been vaccinated, it is your choice, basically.
Okay.
Yeah. So is he leading off? He's got the 100. What is that? 1 o'clock at the Abbott showroom. Is that what you mean by Abbott's? Phil was asking about it.
Yeah. I guess it's in the school or the auditorium, something like that.
Yeah.
Mike Miller's got to answer that.
Yeah, Mike Miller would be the one. Maybe he'll ring in over here. I'm going to be going to the TAOM, which is in Austin, coming up for Labor Day weekend, which is, the first weekend of September. And Michael Collins and the other following CDC guidelines. And those things are still all up and subject to change and everything then, too. I do want to talk about...
It's very fluid. It's very fluid, Scott.
Well, it is, absolutely. And you got to be ready. In fact, I just got... an email from Bill Smith about the collectors weekend or expo in Vegas, and they were saying the new CDC guidelines are wear a mask. So they said bring a mask. Okay, so Anthony Dark, so Tony Brooks says, okay, I can shut up for a little while. And you're welcome. That's fine. So Mark asks about Eric is going to be in the auditorium on Friday. There you go.
Yes, that's correct. At 2:30.
In the gym at 2:30. Great. Rocco, tell me about the thing that you were doing with Perry. So you've been developing something kind of cool during the shutdowns. As I said, we've been doing some things. I want to come back over here for Tim just after I finish to talk about this really cool laneway theater he was doing. But tell me about what you got.
Well, when I came back from Las Vegas, all my props were in China, and we were going nuts. We had to do something creatively because, we were born to be creative, always come up with magic. It's in our blood. So I started coming up with tricks. Say, how about this? How about we come up with a trick that does this? And then the 2 coins, the vendor, we go to Roy Cooper. He makes it. We call Murphy, and they put it on the market. So we got like 6 products we put out in the past year and a half. That's what's been keeping me busy because I think I got a little rusty. I don't even know if I can perform anymore. So in the meantime, we're just
stop.
I'm serious. I'm looking forward to see how Eric bounced back. I give him a lot of credit. I'm rusty. I don't even know if my suit fits.
Well, I was going to say, if you're like the rest of us, you're right that you're going to have to get your suit to fit, but your sleeves, I would think, would still be the same length as far as the width, right?
Yeah, but I forget everything. I don't know what goes in this pocket. I don't know what's in that pocket. I don't know what's in this pocket. I used to remember it like automatic. Now
you have to go back and watch your old lectures.
My music came on. I was walking on the strip in Las Vegas, and I was trying to rehearse my act. I couldn't remember the act. That's it. Done. Maybe I'm retiring. Who knows? Bang.
I don't know. Sometimes I forget how to get home.
You'll go, and you're still young. Yeah, so if they go to rprmagic.com, me, Perry Maynard, and Roy Cooper, they can see some of the trailers of some of the new tricks that Murphy's coming out. And now Murphy's just found a lecture that I did in 1989 in Vienna, Austria, after I won the Las Vegas Desert Seminar, and they put it out as Rocco's Lost Archive. So it's a live lecture of the show I did. And the FISM Act from 1994 and the Las Vegas Desert Seminar Act that I did, I haven't seen it in years, 25 years. Somebody sent it to from Italy. It was a TV show, and now Murphy's is putting it out as a download. So if anybody wants to go see what I was doing in 1989, because now it's 2021.
Was that the Rocco? Was that the Machine Guns and the Roses Act?
No, that was the stage act. This is the pearls and the glitter.
Oh, okay. I got it.
And the ice. You can see the whole act on the thing. I'll send it to you when I get done, Eric. So brings you back to when we met in 1989.
I remember seeing you at FISM in 1994, Yokohama.
That's it. That's the same act. That's the same act there, Tim. The first time I saw you was at Fechter's with some blonde girls, some chick, you know, and you had a black leather jacket on, you had dark hair, you looked like Elvis, and you did a rock and roll something. Remember that? Balls?
That was the funny thing, because at FISM in 1994, you took third place at close up. Correct. I took second place, and Cal Clarity, I took first place. It was all three sleevers winning.
You're the guy that took second and close up. It was you?
Yeah, it was me.
I didn't know that. Congratulations. I'm not mad.
Thank you.
I'm not mad.
It was so much fun. It was so much fun.
I didn't know that. Wow. Yeah, we go back a long time, man. There's 200 years worth of magic between us four. You know what I mean? And we live for magic, right? It's a lifestyle.
Yeah.
I like to share with you a quote that I just picked up from Albert Einstein.
From where?
Share with you. If you have a chance, go see the movie Fatima. It's on Netflix. Fatima. It's a story about the three Portuguese kids that saw the vision of the Virgin Mary. And
yeah.
It's a great story, man. I cried. The music is so beautiful. But the way they end the movie, it's an Einstein quote. And Einstein says, there's two ways to live your life. One is if miracles don't exist, and the other is if every day is a miracle. So if you keep that in mind, Einstein, he's the one that says, a man's intelligence is not measured by his knowledge, but rather his imagination. And with magic, obviously, between these 2 ears, we got our imagination, and we're able to create all this magic. That's a gift from God, because we were created in the image of God, and God was a creator. That's why we're natural creators. So I congratulate and happy to be with my peers right now. God bless you.
Indeed. Yes.
Indeed.
Let me ask also there. Let's see. There was somebody else that had Jonathan is saying to you, Eric, but he had to jump out, but he said break a leg this weekend, Eric.
Thanks, Jonathan.
On your show. So my question was, and there was another one that Phil said the same thing. Break a leg, break a string after the show. Sure, of course. So, Tim, I want to talk a little bit about the Laneway Theater. So as you talk a little bit about this was something that came out of COVID. The whole idea was there again, kind of, I guess, like what I was doing with this Magic and Martini Thursday nights, where we've had an opportunity really to kind of chat with people online, plus with other magicians around the world. You had some people that you brought in then also, and you converted your house into this theater. Is that right, kind of a thing?
Yeah. So my house downstairs, I have a rehearsal room, which I was using a little bit. There we go. That's the this is when I built the house. This is when I got it. It's a warehouse. It was the Australian Broom Company. That's how it looked when I got it. And so it had lots of potential. That's the rehearsal room.
Wow, that's beautiful.
And then converted it with the risers into a theater. And we've been operating for about 2 or 3 years now as the theater. And we got all these seats. These are from Hoyt's Greensboro, from a cinema. They don't know they've gone yet. They'll figure it out eventually. But those seats are fantastic. That's the laneway you come into. So that's why it's called the Laneway Theater. And you'll enter through a door like this. It's quite mysterious. We have a graveyard entrance with tombstones and headstones for famous magicians. There's a bottomless pit. And so as guests come in, they don't know if they're in the right place. There's no signage. They just have to think that they're in the right place. They walk in, they find
kind of a speakeasy kind of place.
Yeah, very much so. And then they have to open a coffin. Once they open the coffin, it takes them through into the atrium. And there's this little box here. This is a box that I used in 1986, I think it was, to be tied up, put inside a sack, put in the box, and lowered into the Yarra River, which is our main river that flows through our city. And so that's sort of a little bit of magic history that's here in the center of the Laneway Theater. And where I'm sitting right now is the Merlin Room. And the Merlin Room looks like this. So this is where people hang out before the show.
Beautiful.
They can sit around. Wow. They can. It's immersive. They can open the cupboards. They can play with everything. There's costumes they can try on if they want to. They can explore it. Then when they go into the theater itself, we have it set up like a close-up room, but it's also good for parlor because we've got 32 seats. So people can sit back. They can relax. We have guest acts all the time. And we have a screen so you can watch the magic up close as well. And that's the theater. So when we hit down into lockdown, obviously I thought, well, we can't run the theatre anymore. So I decided I would do, like you're doing, an interview show with my friends. So I started doing one-on-one Zoom interviews. They ran for about half an hour each originally, and then they got longer and more complicated. But I said, I'm going to do one a day for the whole lockdown, for the whole pandemic. And by the time I got to 50, I thought, I think I've done enough. This pandemic is not going to end in a hurry. But it was so much fun. Yeah, we did so much. And the other thing, I tried to make a trick at the start of every piece. So I'd go through my cupboards and I'd be like, oh, what could I do? I'll do this trick. I'll pull out all these strange tricks, and I'd film little 1-minute tricks or 30-second tricks at the start of every segment. And that was actually the hardest part, just trying to come up with something fresh and something different to do at the start of each segment. And so that occupied like 50 days solidly. I was doing nothing else but just working on those. So I know the work you put into these podcasts, Scott, and just doing it once a week. Doing once a day was just insane.
Wow, that's a beautiful space and a beautiful theater, Tim. Congratulations.
It was my retirement plan, actually. So I thought, once I decide I don't want to travel around the world and do all these corporates and stuff, I can just sit back. I can go downstairs, do a show, go back upstairs. But what I didn't realize was that during the pandemic, suddenly the audiences can't come to you anymore. But thankfully, Zoom popped in, and we could do the shows on Zoom. I think we did about 200 shows on Zoom.
Wow,
and it was
great!
So much fun just coming up with new material for the Zoom shows as well.
They're on Facebook, is that right? For people to go back and watch this, or on YouTube?
YouTube. Look up Laneway Live, Tim Ellis, and you'll find that there's interviews with like everybody: Jeff Hobson, Mark Kalin, Boris Wilde, Sean Farquhar, Cosentino, lots of different magicians, all interviewed. It was so much fun.
Yeah. And so, I can imagine after a certain period of time, it's kind of like, well, I had someone say to me before, you're running through a lot of people. You're having 3 people each week, and you're going to be running out of friends before long. I thought, well, I sure hope not. I like to think like I've got friends around the world, from Australia to New York, perfect example here, and there are a lot of guys. There are people who are on here like tonight that I haven't had Will Fern, haven't had Chad Long, haven't had Bill Malone. I mean, just some people, the last few people who have logged in, and a lot of other people who are on here I haven't had that are good buddies that I'd like to have. We just have kind of run out of time, I think, kind of thing, because
I could have easily done another 50, another 100 of those interviews because there's so many other people I wanted to talk to. But the thing that really got me was just sharing with each person how they were all dealing with the lockdown and how we were all in the same boat. And, you have people like Topaz, who does massive tours, and he's just saying, well, I'm sitting at home, I'm just working on material. And it was reassuring to a lot of the viewers to just hear that their heroes were in the same boat that everybody else was.
It's good. Yeah, it's a good point.
They have been. Are there some things that you guys are planning on doing now? We're starting to come out. I mean, it sounds like, Rocco, you wanted to get back to China to get your stuff. And
what bus stops there? What bus do you get on for that?
You take the E-train. So you then, Eric, also have been working then on your theater show, and you're going to be doing some more one-man shows, I'm assuming. So
yes.
And Eric, the Laneway Theater, as you said, you kind of built for a retirement home, if you will. I could just imagine when you're bringing a date into that house and you're saying, "Walk through my coffin," they're going to say, "Okay, I'm out."
Hey, the bones get the chicks,
Oh man,
that came out really bad.
Yeah.
So let me ask you then, back about that, Rocco. Just kind of going kind of over here, and then I'm back around. So, what are you going to be doing? What are your plans for the next 6 months to a year, Rocco? Oh, sorry.
Here for 13 years. I mean, 13 city lecture tour in October. I don't know if that's going to happen. Franz invited me to go to Hawaii in December. I don't know if that's going to happen. I'm supposed to go back to Las Vegas August 17th. I don't know if that's going to happen. So I don't know what's happening.
But you got to make plans, not knowing what's for sure going to be happening. As if you got to plan as if it's going to be happening,
Yeah.
Day by day.
So right now it's day by day. I'm going to see Eric Saturday. That's my plan. That's my plan. And I'm going to be at the SAM. We have a dealer's booth at the SAM, RPR Magic.
I'll be there. Yeah, I'll see you there.
And I'm gonna close the first half of the show at next Fectors. So I'm gonna come up with an act to do there for the 50th anniversary. So I'm gonna come up with something, and I'm probably got a few more tricks coming out with Tenyo. Tenyo's putting out one of my tricks with the Danish.
Oh, great!
Hip Hop Rabbit. So that's coming out in the next couple of weeks. I'm working with Sean J.
Oh, that's great.
Young magician, and we got a few more products. We're coming out with Murphy's. You know, that's what we're doing. Hello to Roger Dreyer. Hello to Tony Yassini. These are all inspirations to me. I want to say hello to Sean J. Okay, is that all right, Scott? Hello, Obi.
Yeah, absolutely.
Who can stop you, Rock?
Right. I want to tell the Mayor, Peter Samuelson, Will Fern, hey Boris.
Chad Long says hello. What's happening?
Yeah, and the great magician Emily England. Keep your eyes out for her. She started doing some little card tricks here and there in Vegas. Now she's performing all over England, and she's going to be wanting to go to FISM soon. So keep that name, Emily England. She's going to be great. Girl,
Emily England. Okay.
Hey, look her up. She's a roller skating chick that won America's Got Talent. She does magic now.
Wow.
Yep. And I heard Matt King's show is amazing. I just spoke to Larry Clark this morning. I went to see Matt King's show, and it's tight as can be, I heard. You know? And congratulations.
Mac is always great. Let's be honest. He's always great, Mac.
Oh, yeah, no doubt. And congratulations to Banachek. He got himself a residency at the
Strat. At the Strat, yep.
Yeah, with what's
work in the same room, I guess, where Xavier Mortimer is. He's supposed to start August the 4th, yeah. But that's kind of a big room. I mean, he's got a larger room than Copperfield.
Wow.
Well, Copperfield's room was what, about 800?
Well, I thought it was less than that because Banachek's is like 650.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So that's a lot for our mentalists to pull.
I was at Copperfield show about 2 years ago, and I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
He's amazing. He's an amazing, amazing person. I've never seen anybody do as much, and he's a machine. He's a machine, doesn't stop. It's like a shark, always moving.
Yeah. Speaking of a shark never moving, so what are you going to be doing? What are your plans? Again, you're going to be working. You've been working with the Sparta Theater. You're going to be working with them more. You're going to be doing some other shows. You're going to be starting to.
Well, I'm going to be doing that. I have a couple of things in the plan. Which, when I'm ready to disclose it, I will. And I'm getting the show back together. I've been working on some new material for the last 2 years. I finally got something together, which I'm very excited about. I was at the Parlor of Mystery over the weekend. And I did a set there, a 30-minute set, and I shared the stage with Bobby Torkova and Fiat and Ted, and it was a great show. They sold out there, and I actually kind of debuted my new piece. Well, not debuted it, but I performed it there, and it was the first time a lot of my friends out in the island, Long Island, got to see it, and it went over even better than I expected. So, but you'll get to see it next week, Scott. And Rocco, you get to see it Saturday night. So let's see what you guys think.
Wait, man, no doubt. You doing all speaking, or do you put on music? You do some music or speaking?
Yes, to both.
Is there going to be some new stuff, like 17% new, or what? Like Chad just asked there.
I didn't know he had a percentage there, but yes, there is some new stuff in the show.
No, I'm just asking.
There is some new stuff in the show. I didn't break it down mathematically yet. Actually, if you think about it, it's probably about, I probably added another 15% to the show, yeah.
Okay.
George is frozen. I don't know what that means. I don't think that's a good thing for him.
No, it looked like you kind of froze up there for just a sec. Okay, you're good now again.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm good?
No, it's okay. Yep, you are over there. So tell me then also what's happening in Australia. What are your plans over there for the 6 months to a year for you? Are you going to be doing some cruise ships? I know you had said, we were talking yesterday as we were doing a tech rehearsal, Tim, you were talking about some of the things that you had developed that Vanishing Ink is selling, like the eye drop and some other stuff.
Yeah. Well, eye drop. Well, there just happens to be one there.
Well, how about that?
Product placement. That's how to go. That was developed about 4 years ago, 3 years ago, something like that. And it finally got released during the pandemic, which is not exactly the right time for a stage routine. But essentially, it is like a little bag like this, and you drop a borrowed.
It's like that, or it's exactly that one?
It's like this. You won't get this one. You get one of your own. So you drop the phone inside, and it automatically does what it needs to do. and then the spectator's phone falls out the hole and breaks into pieces. And some people just use it as a gag. Other people use it as a full routine. I present it where it ends up found inside a nest of boxes and restored. But you can also use it for deck switches and all sorts of card effects as well. That's been a very successful product. And I think they're going to do a bit more of a push for it now that people can get it back on stage and do live shows.
And that ends up inside of a nest of boxes kind of a thing too, which I think
it's very funny. It's like, it's got the same sort of sense as build a bandana in the banana to bandana.
Banana, right.
Yeah, you can just basically buy it and do it on stage, and you've got 10 minutes of fantastic comedy routine that works itself. You know, it's such a good routine. And Vanishing Ink have produced a fantastic product. It's really, really good product. And I've been doing that on the cruise ships until pandemic time, of course. I've got cruise ships booked in January, which I'm curious to see if they'll go ahead. But I'm prepared. They're actually asking people to do much longer shifts now. They're wanting people to do 6 months, which I'm not prepared to do. But also doing maybe 3 shows instead of 2 shows. So things will change as they always do. But here in Australia, we just did the Melbourne Magic Festival. We just finished that, and we didn't think we were going to be able to do that. This is our 14th year of doing the festival. It's a 2-week
Tell me about that, because that was where I first met Carissa Hendricks. You were telling me, she was a breakout winner, and then you called me and said, you got to talk to this woman, and that was kind of the beginning of her career.
Well, the Magic Festival has been the beginning of a lot of people's careers as well, like Dom Chambers, for example. Dom Chambers, you might have seen him on America's Got Talent. He was the guy who made the beers appear from the paper bags.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he was one of our junior champions of magic at the Magic Festival. Wow. So the festival is designed so that people can get up and they can do a show on stage. They can produce their own shows. It's like a fringe festival or a comedy festival where we're not doing like a gala show with, here are the acts doing their 8 minutes. We get everybody to do their own 45 to 60-minute shows. And we had this year, it was a small festival this year because we're coming out of pandemic. So we had 122 shows, and we sold out 70 of them. So out of 10,000 tickets, we sold 8,000, which was astonishing. Previously, I think our best year was 2019. We had 17,000 seats sold, which was amazing. But we only had half the number of shows this year. So we didn't have any international guests or overseas guests, of course. But all the local guys up and shone. And Sam Angelico, who's watching in here, he did a show as well. And
Sam Angelico.
Yeah, he was up doing.
That's awesome. I haven't seen him in such a long time. He's so good.
Yeah. It was just amazing to see all these amazing performers get up and do creative stuff. There's a guy called the Quizzical Mr. Jeff, who I think you'll hear about in the future. He won Best Children's Act, even though it was a family show. It was a really good show. And it was very fresh and very original. And his dancing cane is the best dancing cane I've ever seen. And I've judged
hard to beat Ray Anderson's.
It is like at various points as he's doing the dancing cane, it's suddenly going out over the audience.
Oh, wait a minute. Wow.
And then he's standing motionless like this, and the cane is spinning around him.
Okay, you got me.
You got to catch him. He's someone to look forward to. And I mean, I love the fact that we're discovering new talent. And Carissa was one of those great examples. She said, I want to do my act, but I'm not sure if it's any good. So I'm going to go to the other side of the world. And that way, if it's terrible, no one will ever hear about it.
Right.
She didn't realize the Melbourne Magic Festivals, we're on the other side of the world, but we're connected, But she won the best comedy act and did a fantastic job. And yeah, I said, you've got to go and work at the castle. I said, Scott, you've got to chat with her. And she's just gone leaps and bounds. She's I guess, easily the best known female magician in the world now.
So it sounds like this has been going for quite a while, and that you are like the #1 Australian magician. I mean, it seems like there are points in time in which we have known acts where there's Doug Henning, or there's Mark Wilson, or Doug Henning, there's David Copperfield, David Blaine. It seems like there's one name of one magician in the collective minds of the general public. Would you say that you are that person in Australia?
I would never dare to say that.
However, I would think that would be, because I can't think of anybody else necessarily over there who would have the credentials that you have and the CV of everything that you've done. So
There's certainly Ray Crow. You can't
Raven
deny
Crow. I forget about. I don't know why I forget about him. That's exactly right. Good point.
Yeah, and we've got a lot of others who are coming up and doing amazing things as well. And Sam, who's won Comedy Magic at FISM, he's still around. I think the difference is, for me, it's not about promoting me specifically. It's about promoting the magic community here in Australia. Mm-hmm. And I this year I didn't even get to do any shows at the festival itself. Normally, I created the festival so that I could come up with a new show every year. And generally, I'd come up with 2 new shows every year because I'm greedy. But this year, I didn't do any shows at all. New shows so I just had to sit back and produce the festival. And it was great to let everybody else shine and just see what people could come up with. And I'm already working on next year's festival. It's going to be back to 2 weeks. We're going to be trying to get overseas guests. Our guests this year we're going to include Sean Farquhar and the Knights. And it was going to be, amazing. But I think Marty Gilbert was going to come over as well, but we just couldn't bring anyone over. So fingers crossed we'll have some overseas guests again next year and make it bigger and better and sell out 100% of the shows.
Where can people go to get information about that if they were interested in finding out about the Melbourne Magic Festival?
MelbourneMagicFestival.com.
I'm just setting them up. You knock them out of the park for me, okay?
Yeah, we try to keep it simple.
Okay, that sounds great.
We have such a great community here in Melbourne. We get together every week, every month here in the studio or at the Arts Centre in Melbourne when it's open, and we just jam ideas. And a lot of the stuff that Dom did on America's Got Talent was because he listens to other people and he goes, "Well, what do you think of this? What do you think of that?" And we work as a community, and that's one of the things that I find missing in a lot of magic areas where it's such an ego-based sort of industry where you want to be able to do, I did everything. I choreographed it. I wrote it. I did the lighting. I did everything. But when you get down and you sit down with other like-minded individuals, it just opens up so many more opportunities to create.
That's clever. That's clever.
Yep. What's that? So you get a web address that goes more with the event. Yeah.
Melbourne Magic Festival that happens once a year around October. No, that's no. It's not even October.
No, that's good. That's good.
Maybe chadlong.com. Maybe that'd be it or something like that. So there we go. Listen,
3 minutes left.
I was going to say, I want to thank you guys very much. Yes, so we start to kind of wrap up. Is there something that you would like to add or talk about?
I want to ask everyone a question, and it's a yes or no question.
What's that? What's that, Rocco?
Eric, if I were to write you a check right now for $2 million, but you have to never do magic again, would you take the check?
No.
Tim?
No, it's got to be a lot more than $2 million.
Okay, guys, you had an answer. Okay, Scott?
No.
Yeah, I'm out of here. $2 million, I'm out of here. I'm going to
no. I would tear up the check.
You'd be surprised. 50-50 say yes, 50-50 say no. It's mixed.
No, it's just too ingrained in my blood. And it's my passion. It's
you do
I just love it. It's like breathing.
Of course you are. You are. Of course, you're a staple. Oh, you guys too, of course. I know exactly what you're talking about. It's a lifestyle. It ain't just a job. It's a lifestyle.
I stopped worrying about the money many, many years ago, and it's much better. The money comes and goes, but happiness and health, and that's the only thing that really matters.
Yeah, man. Good luck.
I thought about that before, Rocco, in which, let's say that, I don't know, that I went into witness protection for some reason. And if I did, you would
I have a few reasons for you, Scott. I have a few reasons for you.
If I did, you were not supposed to associate with certain people and do certain things that you did with your old lifestyle. And I would think that'd be awful difficult because you guys are such good friends. And what would I do without,
yeah, right.
I can't imagine doing that and just making that complete cut, not performing. You see a deck of cards, or you're going, I got to do something. I got to pick those up, when you're at a bar or whatever,
It's a family. When I go to Fector's, I see those guys more than I see my own family. Yeah. And to be able to not see those guys again would hurt. So I would refuse the money like you guys. All right.
Yeah.
Fector's is like the best magic convention ever, no matter what you compare with anyone. It's just the feel of the family and the feel that everyone is there because they've earned the right to be there. That's an amazing event.
Amazing. And every year there's somebody that wasn't there that passed on, and that hurts for a while. Like Roger Klaus, 1 year, but he's not there no more. Herb Zarro is not there no more. Ali Bongo, not there no more. That's a little frustrating, you know. But so let's make the best.
Yeah,
out of it here,
yeah.
man.
Yeah, no, but you do have the memories, which is important.
What I think is interesting,
Rocco.
whenever I go to other Magic conventions and I see people who are actually performing or lecturing or something, which are usually some of the people who are at Vectors, but I see other people who are registrants and attendees at the conventions, at the 4F, I'm sorry, at, let's say, the IBM convention, or I don't know, whatever convention I've been to. And it's kind of like, you know, and we see somebody else, it's kind of like you look at somebody, it's like you kind of nod, like, you know, I know what he's doing. You know, there's something about the brotherhood of the 4F attendees that is unlike anything. And you know what I'm talking about, you know. So when you go to another convention, it's kind of like, I don't need you to explain how to do a double lift.
Everybody knows each other's name. You know their name.
Yeah.
There's the convention in Japan, which is I think they call it the fan convention. I think it's the Tama fan convention, and so it's really amazing because the people who book in and register don't consider themselves magicians, even though they can do magic. They're like, we are not magicians. We are just magic fans. And there's this sort of hierarchy, which is it's not in any other conventions. You go to IBM and you've got people who've done magic for 2 minutes, walking up to Max Maven and saying, "Hey, show me that bit. I'm going to take that bit," as though they're equals. You know?
That drives me nuts, Tim. That drives me nuts. I mean, I remember going to Tannen's Magic Shop, getting into magic, and there would be Frank Garcia, Harry Lorraine, Herb Zarro, whatever. I would never, ever, ever, ever walk up to him and go, "Hey, show me a trick. Oh, let me see a trick," and then explain how it's done. And yet today, I've had that happen to me, and I've seen it happen to my friends, where a young person will come up and it's not the same. It's just not the same kind of respect, I guess, as for lack of a better term, realizing that you have to earn that. I always felt that for me to be that, I had to earn it. I had to earn the fact that I could even perform on the same bill with these guys. And that was always my dream, to be able to share the bill with some of the greatest magicians in the world. And I've been fortunate enough to be able to do that.
Yeah.
We have a lot of like actors and theater people and celebrities who learn a bit of magic, and they're very much like, "Oh, we would not dare call ourselves magicians. You know, I would never,
right.
You guys are professionals." And you look at them and you're like, "You're so much better than 50% of the people who are working out there." But you refuse to call yourself a magician because there's this you know, vision of all the magicians are so dedicated. They're so it's interesting. Just the perception of yourself is the most important thing to get right before you can really get solid in the magic industry, I think.
Yep. Oh, that's true. Well, yeah, listen, this has been just great. And again, an hour that has gone by just so quickly. And I am so appreciative to you guys joining us here on this last evening. And thank you very much. Cheers.
Thank you, Scott.
I want to come to Australia with Eric in 2 years, Tim. Try to make that happen. All right?
There we go, Tim.
It's on the cards. There we go. Just make sure you've had your vaccine.
You need to also make sure you do something. You need to do something funny. It's the comedy festival, Rocco.
Is it?
No, it's not.
Oh, well, we'll do something.
That's
funny.
that's only if you want to become the next Carissa Hendricks.
And I'll see Mr. Handsome right below me over here, Eric. I'll see you Saturday.
Yes.
Looking forward to seeing you, my friend.
Film you from the audience. I'm going to film a piece from the audience and put it on Facebook. All right? You mind?
Well, we'll talk about that offline.
Okay.
Yes.
Right,
Speaking of which, I'm going to take each of you guys off. If you'll just kind of hang around for a few minutes, we can kind of chat for a few minutes after the show over here.
Sure.
So hang loose, and I want to thank everybody for being here. This has been nothing short of than fantastic. So thank you, guys. Thank you. Just a few comments that were coming in. I want to, Magic's such a wonderful family that we've had. That has been just an awesome evening. Thank you, Glenn. It's been great. No, sorry, Dan. He did not talk about the things in the case behind him over there. Yeah, sorry about that. Phil, that makes me feel good because that was what this is all about. Is trying to do things during the pandemic, you know, Mass, to kind of make it a little bit easier. So this way we can all kind of get through by talking to the friends. And also there was something I can't find back in there, but I did say something about when Anthony Darkstone had said something. I said, "Hey, stop talking." That was not what he said. I misquoted what he had said. That wasn't his intent at all. Tony is just such a good buddy, more than a friend. He's a great friend, and so I didn't mean to misstate what he was trying to say there. And so I haven't seen and Allie was one of the people who was on. So Allie, hang around. You get to see you also in this montage we're going to show here then shortly. I'm glad we're able to do it. And Joe, that's right, represent right there, man. I mean, if you were late getting in, for those who didn't see this T-shirt, he was on a couple weeks ago. I'm going to show the back of the shirt again because this is just kind of cool. You can see this shirt. So thank you, Joe. And I recommend that everybody will please go and support your brick and mortar magic shops then as well. And let's see who else we said. Thank you. Yep, Tony. And so, yeah, Joe, it was an awesome show, and you're welcome, Chuck. I will see you in Colon then as well. Cheers to everybody. Oh my goodness. Let's see. They're coming quick. So fun. It was fun. Thanks a lot, Chad. Thank you, Will. This has been just really great, and this has been not just a great evening, but it's just been a really great 58 weeks. You know, it's been over a year and 6 weeks. So it's been, yeah, a while. So we've been doing that. That's true, Dal. Thank you. And I enjoyed your splash party last weekend. That was so much fun. I can't thank you enough for what you do over there, Dal, for doing that. Your splash party was just awesome, and I had fun with my granddaughter while we were there then too. Sam, I look forward to maybe coming and seeing you over in Australia again. It's been a long time since I've been to Australia. Thank you, Tony, and as well. And Chad, thanks for the applause. Tony, yeah. And you are welcome, Sam and Ted. Yep, be seeing you then too. And Harriet, I will see you next week. Don't worry, forget everybody, next week on Thursday night, we're going to do our virtual, rather not virtual, going to be doing a real happy hour at Curly's there in Colon. So we want to make sure that we're going to be wearing your little name badges. If you'll bring those with you, you don't have to, but if you do, it'd be kind of fun. We'll be at Curly's and have a real happy hour next Thursday. So that will be just a lot of fun then too. And let's see, as we kind of quickly run through the last of these, I do want to mention one more thing, and that would be, as I said, next week we're going to, when I'm there, this is something kind of like, again, on NPR, whenever they're having, their fundraisers, this is something, so I've got, these are these, hard coaster pad, kind of things. And for a $20 donation to the Magic Word Podcast, I could bring one of those to you, or I could bring one of these really cool mugs for a $50 donation, which goes over there. So that way that you get a mug with my mug on it. How about that? So that way that could be yours. I'm going to be bringing a few of those along just to help try to have some sponsors and some friends for the podcast, as well as just a lot of these old photos from the past I will bring and have a Jerry Costello's party that I'm going to give out to everybody for free. And I've got a really cool martini and mask that I had worn. This was something that was given to me some time ago by Eric Henning, who was one of the people who was on here as well. So again, we have had just a lot of really great guests over the past year. And this is, I'm going to show you a video that will show you some of the people who have been on this. Again, we've had like, 160 people over the last, over 170 people over the last 58 weeks. So as you watch this, I kind of made it very kind of short, so it's really quick. You're going to have to watch their pictures and see how many of these people you're going to be able to name. I'll post this on Facebook so you can watch it again, and maybe a little bit, you can slow this down and watch this then too. But this will tell you, it is my thank you, if you will, to some of the people, all the people who have been on the show during the last 58 weeks. Thank you very much again for all the guys who were on here tonight. Thank you, Rocco. Thank you, Eric. And thank you, Tim, very much for coming and being on the show. Thank you for your friendship. Love you guys, and looking forward to giving you a hug whenever I see you soon. And also to everybody else who has been here and has joined us week after week. We just have a lot of great folks. I'm going to say goodnight, and be sure to listen to the Magic Word podcast. Even though this is ending on virtual happy hour, we're going to continue the podcast until my hair turns gray. No, wait a minute, until my hair falls out. How's that? And I think I'm doing pretty good. I don't think it's going to fall out anytime soon. Well, maybe in certain places, but anyhow, I have no plans to stop the Magic Word podcast. That will go on for quite a while. So until next time we see each other, Scotty out.